My God, I hate trucks.
Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana says security and transport officials are ready to guard the country's main international gateway against terrorist attacks. This even as the United States has warned that security measures at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport are inadequate. Lorenzana says they've received information on possible terrorist attacks this holiday season, but he says the Philippines is not among the supposed targets. Transport officials vowed to prioritize security enhancement at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport after the U.S. Department of Homeland Security issued a travel advisory saying they don't meet international standards. As officials work on improving airport security, the Defense Department is allaying fears that the main international gateway, as it is right now, is vulnerable to terrorist attacks.
Siguro hindi naman yun ang kanilang tinutukoy. I think it's the way that the management of the airport, the way passengers are being screened, and all those things, yung mga equipment natin, if they are not adequate.
But those measures mentioned by the Defense Secretary are, among others, intended to guard against terrorists. If they're not up to par, then the airport could be an easy target by those out to sow fear.
Terroristic activities, although possible, but I think the airport and all our security forces there are on alert about all these possibilities.
Secretary Delfin Lorenzana says some countries have warned of terrorist attacks during the holiday season, but he stresses the Philippines is not among the supposed targets.
There has been this advisory from other countries also that there could be attacks in some parts of the world during the holiday season. And we are taking those advisory seriously. But not here. Ang tawag nila is airports in other countries.
But considering that the Philippines is not new to bombings, Lorenzana says the police and military are on alert, especially in highly populated urban centers. The Defense Department also warns of heightened extortion activities by local terrorists, the New People's Army, which the Secretary says will try to influence elections in areas considered their strongholds. These include Bicol, Samar, and the Negros provinces.
They will try to control the candidates from going around. Kung wala silang mga tinatawag na permit to campaign, hindi nila papunta. And also, they will prevent the people from choosing properly their candidates.
President Duterte earlier issued a memorandum circular ordering the deployment of additional troops in these areas to suppress lawless violence. Good news now for motorists planning to use tollways to and from south of Metro Manila tomorrow, New Year's Eve. You may pass through the Naia Expressway, the Skyway System, South Luzon Expressway, and Star Tollway for free from 10 p.m. tomorrow until 6 a.m. of January 1st. Since it's a long weekend, SMC Tollways is deploying more ambulant toll collectors at these expressways. Motorist assistants and traffic patrollers will also be on standby and on watch 24/7. Don't forget to load up your ETC or RFID passes for faster travel. Let's take a look at Filipino traditions we might want to observe as we usher in the new year at midnight tomorrow. Here's Ian Arcangel's report.
A day before the New Year's Eve, customers continue to flock stores selling good luck charms to usher in prosperity in 2019. For Michelle Lee, buying a pig-shaped lucky charm and a prosperity basket to place on her family's dining table comes with the hope that 2019 will bring them good fortune. She says it's a tradition for her family to welcome the new year surrounded by things she believes will bring them good luck, like sticky food and red outfits.
Sa amin, sa Chinese, kailangan yung something sticky kasi it promotes or symbolizes na intact yung family and then yung luck na doon. Anything with touch of red and symbolizes na ng money, prosperity, coins, so bilog. So may mga polka dots.
Likely, Karen Pangilinan and her parents are doing some last-minute shopping of Lucky Charms in Binondo. Since 2019 is the year of the pig in the Chinese calendar, Pangilinan says her family plans to wear pink for Medianoche.
Nag-search kasi kami dahil nga Year of the Pig, kaya parang powder pink yung pinaka niyang common na suotin. Every year talaga, iba-ibang color yung mga lucky naman talaga, kaya talagang pinaghahandaan naman namin siya.
Brother Clifford Sorita, a sociologist, says traditions for welcoming the new year have long been part of the Filipino culture. He believes practicing these customs is a way for families to pass on traditions they grew up with and for people to feel a sense of identity while wishing for a better year ahead.
Most families would do it because it has been part of their, tradition as a family or tradition as a community. That is what is very important, that we maintain a certain degree of identity that is particular to a particular family or particular community.
For feng shui consultant Jean Yu Chua, filling up the dining table with round fruits or wearing red outfits doesn't mean people are entrusting the year ahead to pure luck.
The effect is about the energy and the thinking. So if you have the positive thinking, and the result will be positive then.
Either having a table full of 12 different kinds of the so-called lucky fruits or wearing red clothes, everyone wishes 2019 to be a better year not just for them but for the country as well. Cian Arcangel, CNN Philippines.
Okada Manila responds to the Environment Department's request for the luxury resort to stop its record-breaking balloon drop event on New Year's Eve. Our correspondent Paulo Barcelon is in Parañaque City, joining us live for an exclusive report. Paulo, can you tell us more about Okada's letter to the DNR? Are they going to push through with the event?
Ina, there's no word yet from Okada Manila on whether or not they will push through with the event. But the Department of Environment and Natural Resources says it stands by its earlier order to the management of Okada Manila and Cove Manila to abort its controversial balloon drop event, which has elicited criticisms on social media. This after the DNR had received a letter from the management detailing their plans on how to dispose of and recycle 130,000 balloons which will be used for the drop. DNR Undersecretary Benny Antiporda shared a copy of the letter to CNN Philippines, which states what they will do with the balloons. Antiporda says they have considered the letter, but they will stand by the order, citing the potential of the balloons to produce, quote, extravagant amounts of waste. The letter says Okada and Cove Manila will turn over the balloons to a company, which will then process the balloons into materials for making chairs and eco bricks. Cove Manila, meanwhile, will fund the transformation of the balloons into eco bricks, including the delivery to the processing site. Right now, Ina, here in Okada, Manila, there's no word yet, like I mentioned earlier, on what will happen to the event, but we're still waiting on their statement, and they told us that they will be releasing a statement, but for now, that's all what I've been hearing from Okada Manila management all day as we are closely monitoring the story. Ina?
Okay, thanks, Paulo. That was Paulo Barcelon reporting. In other news, the ACT Teachers Party List reacts to President Duterte's story supposedly confessing to a priest about a sexual situation involving a house help. Representative Franz Castro says the president's act was, quote, really disgusting, uncalled for. Castro calls out the president for sharing the story amid the calamities the country is experiencing. The lawmaker also says the president should just focus on helping the residents affected by Tropical Depression Usman. In his speech at an event in Kidapawan City yesterday, President Duterte narrated to a priest in detail a sexual act with a helper. Here's the president in his own words.
Ganon man yan. Kayo, ayaw lang ninyo hindi ninyo masabi dito. Ako wala man ako media. Totoo man. So, it's true. Lahat man mga bata dumaan ng haba ng kumisa ka, hinahawakan ka naman.
Malacanang comes to President Duterte's defense. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo says Mr. Duterte made up an anecdote to dramatize how he and his fellow students were sexually abused when they were in high school. He adds, and we quote, he purposely added and spliced the story with vulgarity to characterize the behavior of the priest who insisted to hear more sins during their confessions when there were none. Panelo says it was a concocted story. Panelo ends his statement by saying the president will not change his political signature, which has endeared him to the masses. President Duterte says we should embody the patriotism of our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. He issued a written message to commemorate the 122nd anniversary of Rizal's martyrdom. Rizal was convicted for sedition and executed by firing squad in Bagong Bayan, or present-day Luneta Park, on December 30, 1896. The president says Rizal's courageous life and inspiring works have been instrumental in awakening our collective consciousness to foster our identity and take a stand against our oppressors. He adds Rizal's example continues to encourage us as we pursue ways to address the social ills that confront us. Representing the president, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio led the wreath-laying ceremony in the city this afternoon. In commemoration of Rizal Day, there are free rides at the MRT today. Free rides started at 5 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m. When the newsroom returns, Tropical Depression Usman, which was downgraded to a low-pressure area, left casualties in the Bicol and Eastern Visayas regions.